Hello explorers and welcome on board to Agawa Canyon Tour Train. So my tip number 1, arrive short after 7 a.m. to be among the first lucky people to choose the best seats. And try to choose the seats on the right side of the train. You will have a better variety of views.
The bridge first opened for traffic on October 31st, 1962. Prior to its openings, all crossings between Sault Ste. Marie and Sault, Michigan were accomplished by ferry boat. Over 3 million vehicle crossings are recorded over the bridge each year.
Train trip gives me that special feeling of adventure, as if you are going to discover some unknown hidden places, don't you think? The journey starts at 8 a.m. and it's early morning, so we grabbed our coffee and some bakery. And probably this is the reason why we are sitting on the left side of the train. When booking your tickets online, you can also pre-order food, and it might be very convenient for people who are traveling to Sault Ste. Marie from another cities. When you arrive to the brand new train station, you need to confirm your reservation and take your paper ticket. The tickets will be checked and collected later by the train staff. And here goes my tip number 2. Book your tickets in advance. And I mean like 3-4 months in advance. The train runs daily from August the 1st to mid-October. If you would like to chase fall colors, try to book your tickets at the end of September and first weeks of October. We traveled on October the 4th and the colors are just around their peak. With such views, it's no wonder why this train draws thousands of international visitors every year.
The existing steel trestle was rebuilt in 1915 after 7 months of frantic construction. The Goulais River valley is often foggy this early in the morning. If we are lucky, we will enjoy a breathtaking view of the valley below and Lake Superior, a distance of about 15 miles.
The views are really breathtaking. While you are enjoying the scenery of Northern Ontario, I would like to share some stories about the railway itself. The Algoma Central Railway was chartered on August 11, 1899. It gained authority to build north from Sault Ste. Marie to a junction with the Canadian Pacific Railway's main line, as well as a branch line to Michipicoten Harbor on Lake Superior near Wawa. Since then, it has been changing names and owners a good couple of times, but it always was well known for its Agawa Canyon Tour Train. The area served by the railway is sparsely populated with just a few roads.
Be shipped by rail to the steel plant to fire the cauldrons. The promoters calculated approximately 25 acres of forest would have to be cut and turned into charcoal to meet the demands of the steel mill. They thought the cleared land could then be sold as farms, generating even more money, but soon realized that rocks were their only reliable crops. By 1902, there were 145 families living on over 100 farms in this area. All of these farms have since been abandoned and have been reverted to forest once again.
It may be a sad story when we are talking about the industrial progress, but I'm really happy that I can see the same lakes, forests and rocks as they were seen by a group of 7 almost 100 years ago. Several members of Canada's Group of 7 painted in the Algoma region between 1918 and 1923. To gain access to this remote region, they rented a boxcar from the railway. The car was outfitted like a cabin and was shunted to sidings near choice painting locations. From these locations, they would set out on foot or canoe to capture this area on canvas. Their paintings brought this vast, rugged and beautiful part of the country to fellow Canadians and the world. In 2015, White Pine Pictures released the award-winning documentary film Painted Land in Search of Group of Seven, which was shot along the rail corridor. In 2016, the Moments of Algoma project invited tourists to follow the Group of Seven's travels, experiences, and expressions of the region.
North, we will cross two branches of the Chippewa.
That's why the Agawa Canyon Train is often, with a good reason, thought of as a Group of Seven train.
Common fish in this lake, though there are some lake trout and brook trout. Before this country was made accessible, the fish were much larger and more plentiful. Due to this increased fishing pressure, the government occasionally stocks the lakes. Territory's fish hatchery in Sault Ste. Marie produces most of the fish used to stock local.
Let's go back to the history of tour train. Almost 50 years, the Algoma Central Railway played only the industrial role, hauling lumber and ore from the region. But in the 1960s, the railway operators realized its trains offered unrivaled access to the countryside, inaccessible through any other means. And that countryside had, thanks to the Group of Seven, become synonymous with the Canadian wilderness in the national imagination.
Special fire charges tax on the railway to help pay the cost of fighting the fires. After the end of World War I, the daring pilots who fought in the skies over Europe became influential in opening up the north and in the battle to control forest fires. Many of their exploits are legendary and are a credit to the northern spirit. To discover more about this fascinating history, visit the Canadian Bush Plane Heritage Centre in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario.
Soon the Algoma Central was running the longest passenger trains in North America for the purpose of showing off the region's scenery. Usually the train is 20 to 24 cars long. During the 1970s and 1980s, around 100,000 people per year visited Agawa Canyon. The color tours, as the Fall Agawa Canyon Tours were known, have been hugely popular throughout the years, drawing a record number of passengers. On September 26, 1970, 1,200 sightseers were packed onto the train cars, loading the train to capacity, and the further 200 people had to be turned away. The first winter Agawa Canyon Tour Train chugged its way along snowy tracks in January of 1972, carrying a whopping 9 passengers. That was 9 more than were expected according to the ACR officials. The winter tour ran only on Saturdays and didn't stop at Agawa Canyon, instead passing through it. A week after the pilot trip, a group of Miss Bonsu 1972 contestants took the Winter Wonderland tour in sub-zero temperatures.
Give you a time to be back on board.
At this time, we were informed that in 45 minutes we will arrive to the canyon, and we will have 90 minutes to explore all the locations. That's why it's the best time to imagine yourself on the cover of that travel magazine and to have some lunch. Tip number 3. Eat before arriving to canyon. However, you might follow this tip only if you want to see all the locations in the canyon. In January 2014, CN announced it was cutting the services from Sault Ste. Marie to Hearst, blaming the Canadian federal government for cutting a subsidy necessary to keep the service running. The passenger service, which ran 3 days per week, provided year-round access to remote tourist camps and resorts. The average annual ridership is estimated to be 10,600 passengers. It has been considered in the past as an essential service. However, this service has always been deemed financially uneconomic. After an attempt to save the line, it could last only one more year. So Agawa Canyon Tour Train has continued to operate as a separate entity since 2015. We are coming close to the bridge across Montreal River. The train will slow down and you will be able to enjoy the views. Oh, those views are so beautiful. Because the trip lasts 10 hours, riders experience an enormous variety of scenery. They are carried over towering trestles alongside pristine northern lakes and rivers, and through the awesome granite rocks formations and vast mixed forest of Canadian shields. The adventure and the views continue from there. The train will begin its descent at a canyon, and as the rail line hugs the top of the canyon wall, you will travel down 500 feet over the next 10 miles to the floor of the Agawa Canyon, created over 1.2 billion years ago by faulting and widened and reshaped by the last ice age that retreated 10,000 years ago. It's all pretty impressive, right? As I have mentioned before, in summer and fall, the train stops for 90 minutes in the Agawa Canyon Wilderness Park, which is accessible only by train or by foot. At this point, we prepared our phones, drone, water bottle, and good mood, and we're ready to jump off the train and experience all the scenic spots of this beautiful place. We decided to start exploring with the waterfalls. We were deeply impressed with the quality of the trails and with the views that were opening to our eyes. The 150-meter tall cliffs flanking the pristine Agawa River remain untouched since they were first documented by MacDonald and other painters so many years ago. We know that fall is not the best season for the waterfalls, but even if there were no so much water, the scenery is just amazing. We had a great hike along the Agawa River, watching the rocks and 2 waterfalls, and now it's high time to see all this beauty from above. While Artem was flying his drone, I had plenty of time to accomplish Lookout Trail. No cheating here, because I need to conquer 375 stairs to be on the top and to see all the fascinating views of the canyon. It is relatively very short trail, but the most difficulty is in the elevation that you gain on this short distance. I met a lot of people who were going both directions and were cheering up each other on the stairs. Even close to the trailhead, you will enjoy beautiful views and bright colors of the woods.
Yay! Around about here, but they encouraged me. You can do it. You can do it.
You did it. Nice.
If you see this check mark, it means that you are almost there. Just don't stop. The magic of the view will begin in a second. Yes, the views are really breathtaking, and they had two reasons for that. First of all, because you don't see such beauty every day. And secondly, yes, because you did that 375 stairs to see all of that. The stop at the Agawa Canyon affords just enough time to hear the rustling maple leaves, smell the pines, and lift your head to gaze up to the majestic rock walls. There is plenty of room to spread out and discover solitude of Canyon Park, and you can use the picnic facilities to have some lunch close to the river. Easy trails lead to the gorgeous cascades of Black Beaver and Bridal Vail Falls, which vary in water levels throughout the year. And more adventurous visitors can climb 300 stairs for the breathtaking view of Agawa River slicing through the canyon. Our challenge completed, and we have seen it all, so it's high time to give the last glance at this beautiful canyon and go back to the train. It's around 2 p.m. now, and we have 4 hours of ride back to Sault Ste. Marie ahead of us. That's why I would like to give you one more tip for this trip. Prepare some entertainment for yourself. Take a book or some games. Get ready some topics to discuss. Taking a nap might be a good idea as well, but not for me, as I was still excited with the views and wanted to see as much as possible. This train tour reminded me of great times when I was traveling by train as a child and as a student. And right now it's given me this chance to slow down the pace and enjoy. Here in Canada we usually travel by car, and it has its advantages. It's fast, private, and runs in your own personal schedule. From a car, the landscape races past in blur, and most of the times it doesn't matter, as highways are designed for efficiency and just a few offer much to look at. Accustomed to highway driving, we have become used to ignoring the view as we travel. We are likely to forget how much pleasure there is in taking in a splendid landscape in slower motion and closer range. That is the magic of the train. We just crossed the bridge on Montreal River and had a great chance to check the views on the dam. At that moment we were told that the train would make an emergency stop. We found out that there was an accident in the canyon, and all we know is that it was a woman and that she will be okay. We stopped for about half an hour, and the staff of the train did everything to comfort us and to make necessary arrangements for people who were late due to the delay. The Agawa Canyon Tour Train isn't a passenger train in the average transportation sense. It exists today with the goal of providing passengers a genuinely memorable ride. It brings people through some of the finest landscapes in Canada and perhaps in the world. That itself is special, as passenger trains are less and less a feature of our day-to-day transportation reality, a train dedicated to the celebration of beauty is a rare scene at this point in the 21st century. But with beauty like the Agawa Canyon, it isn't hard to see why this train line has run through the region for more than 100 years and shows no signs of stopping. Even if there were roads from Sault Ste. Marie to Agawa Canyon Wilderness Park, driving there would mean sacrificing the view to speed and the distractions of the car experience. The Algoma district just makes the most sense on a train at the right speed to allow riders to enjoy the singular natural beauty of the region. It inspires a group of 7 a century ago, and it can inspire you today. We cross the Goulais River, and it means that there are just a few kilometers left to Sault Ste. Marie. It was a beautiful long day, full of emotions and bright colors. I should say that we were tired, but mostly we were tired because of long sitting in the train. So right now we have decided that the next trip to Agawa Canyon will be in 25 or 30 years, when we will enjoy sitting and just watching. Oh yes, and we will have our slow lunch on one of the picnic tables in the canyon. And my tip number 5, the final one: travel more. Explore the place you are living in and cherish the beauty around. And run fast to your vehicle to avoid the traffic jams after the train stops. Thank you for joining our trip, and I hope that you enjoyed it as much as we did. Please subscribe to the channel and drop a comment how you liked this video. We have planned a few more fall trips, so stay tuned and see you on the next one.